We were asking for it, we were waiting for it, and even if it took extremely long before it happens, we finally won 3 consecutive games. Coincidence? I don't think so. 5 reasons why Juventus was able this time, now, only in February, to put 3 wins in a row. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Second video of the day, I promised it 700 likes on the first video, and I come out with this one. 5 reasons we start now. After you, of course, helping this channel to go bigger with subscribing and a maximum of like, we start with the first reason immediately. Let's not turn around the pot. Let's not lie. We are speaking about 3 opponents that on paper, Juventus should all time, always win against. We are speaking about Empoli, Como, PSV. We should always, when your name is Juventus, you don't even need to worry about these games. You should sleep tranquilo. If you miss the game, you miss the game. Who cares? Because you know that when you will open your app, it is a 3 points or a victory that leads you towards a qualification. But it didn't happen a lot this season. We had a lot of opportunities to do so. The first 2 games, Como, Verona, the third one is Empoli or Roma. We were not able to beat them. Empoli 0-0. But on the other side, these games, we have a memory, a football memory. When you're able to beat 3-0 Como, you go back in the return game with a confidence, especially because you come already from a win from Empoli. If you already were able to beat PSV 3-1 in your home with a really beautiful first half back then, you are having that confidence to go and win again. So confidence level of opponents, let's not lie. The second extremely important point is depth of squad. How many times were we not really taking it as an excuse, but we were blaming the fact that we had so many injuries? It was a fact. A lot of time we were looking at that squad list with only 3 defenders, real defenders, 3 defenders that were equal to the goalkeepers. I was really worried that at a certain moment there were more goalkeepers than defenders. Squad list, super important. Depth of squad with less injuries. A Conceição that is able to be there game in, game out. A Douglas Luiz that is now present. We have so many players that were injured and not able to give that continuity on the bench at a certain moment. Thiago was looking as Primavera players, not next-gen players, Primavera players. So less injuries, extremely important for the depth of squad, but also the depth of squad, of course, with the winter mercato, even if we had to wait until really the end of February, yeah? But we added not 3, but 4 players, and we still need to see one of them. Luckily, I will tell you, because a lot of people are saying, Beppe, we signed Alberto Costa, we never see him. Luckily, 4 players, you just need at the moment 3 of them, which means that you have choices. And also, of course, the impact of these new signings. Depth of squad with strong players like a Colomoni. The impact in the 3 first games of Serie A of Colomoni has been extremely great. 5 goals in 3 games. Nobody was ever able to do that in Serie A since the era of the 3 points. Something incredible. Veiga is important of defense, and we will go back on Colomoni and Veiga on the 5th point. That is the tactical point. I will come back later. But less injury, impact of new signing, the depth of squad is super important for point 2. Point 3. Finally, we start seeing these first signs of fighting spirit. We start seeing that they believe in what they are doing. We start, and I don't want to say it too loud, but that fino alla fine spirit that is back. A fino alla fine spirit that is telling us a lot of things. Goals in the last minutes. Look at the last 3 games. Against Empoli, goal at the 90th minute with Dusan Vlahovic, and then Thuram assist for Conceição on the 92nd minute. The game against Como, a penalty awarded, received from Juve, scored, transformed by Colomoni at the 89th, 82nd minute goal of Bangula against PSV. Guys, long time we were waiting for a reaction in these last 5 minutes, a sense of urgency that we were asking for. It never happened. We start seeing it not only one time isolated, but with continuity. 3 games with goals in the last quarter. Answering difficulties, because a lot of time when we were drawing, when we were leading, we were offered that draw, we were never able to answer. 3 times we answered. We answered the goal of De Sciglio. We answered that 1-1 of Como. We answered that 1-1 of PSV. Finally, we are able to answer the difficulties. The third point, in that third point, is the grinta of players. But of course, we have the images of Renato Vega at the 7th minute, at the end of the game, saving a tackle, guys. We also have the images of Federico Gatti that is really embodying that grinta of all the Juventini that we are asking for. Let's go, grinta, grinta. Even players that we were not even suspecting having that grinta inside. Douglas Luiz that is celebrating as crazy. I'm happy to finally see it. And also, don't forget about a grinta, finally, of players during the game, going to the referee, saying, no, it is not a goal. It should be cancelled because there was that handball. Finally, I see Juventus protesting. Finally, I see Locatelli, but also other players that are going together. I'm never asking violence. I'm never asking to raise the voice too much, but I want also to be there, to be present, to say, oh, we don't agree with these decisions. I see a lot of teams with that winning spirit, even if they know that it's not correct, they will go and they will protest. Well, at least don't protest for anything, but when you are sure about it, go and show us. Protest, go in rebellion against it. At least we are heard. They can know that we just don't accept everything. And that's an important one. And how does it come? Also, with the fourth point, a clear leadership. Finally, ragazzi, we can discuss if it's right, if it's not right, if it's our preferred one, if we would have loved another one, but clear impact of leadership is important. A super clear structure. Who is the capitano? It's Locatelli. It has been said by Thiago Motta in press conference. Locatelli is the captain. It has been repeated. Locatelli is captain. And that's what I was looking for, because the players, young players in the second most young team of Serie A, needs some figure, some person to look up to understand, to listen to. They need to know that when that person is speaking, we listen. If you're rotating every single week, we don't know anymore. We lose these kinds of super important fundamental things. Locatelli first captain, who is the vice one? Looks like it is McKennie. And then the third one, welcome back, finally, to Federico Gatti, because McKennie and Locatelli went out, being subbed out. We could have given that armband to Di Gregorio. We could have given that armband to Koopmeiners, two players that were already captain this season. Could have gone to another one. We go back to Federico Gatti. I told you the backstage story of after the triple whistle from Juve PSV with that huge long hug between Thiago Motta and Gatti in the tunnels. It's important that Gatti is again feeling emotionally connected, that he's also here in the wall again with the number 15. I'm sure that you watched it. I'm sure that you saw it. Well, that's important, that captaincy. And then we go towards the fifth point, the tactical part, because it's beautiful to have that grinta, that will, the coincidence of the schedule, the easier opponents, but you need to play and you need to have an idea of football. Thanks also to the new signings. Look, Como Lomouani. You can prefer Dusan Vlahovic, you can prefer Kolo Muani, but the importance of Kolo Muani into the game of Thiago Motta, doing the right movements, being able to control that ball, to play with the back to the goal, to play also being extremely cold in front of the goal and having 100% accuracy is important. That was the player that Thiago was asking for. We all remember how we played at Bologna. Dusan Vlahovic is a total different player as probably the ideas of football of Thiago. That's point one. But then I finish with the most important thing, the importance of the field of Renato Vega. Ragazzi, since Bremer injury in Leipzig, we are speaking about the beginning of October, we're speaking about a different Juve. We lost a lot. We didn't lose only a defender. We didn't lose only a man. We didn't lose only the number 3 of Juve. We lost structure, organization, and idea of football with a slightly change that we didn't see in the predicted lineup, because it was always a kind of 4-2-3-1, but it changed a lot in how we behaved on the field, asking players again to sacrifice themselves, a word that has been repeated so many times by Thiago. This player, I love him because he's sacrificing. This player probably should play better or can play better, but at the moment he's sacrificing for a team. I enjoy seeing that because that means that they care about. And great, fantastic that they care about, but at a certain moment I also want to see them playing at their full capacity. Well, Renato Vega, in that new way of playing that we see in the 4-2-3-1, is changing already a few things. McKennie, since Renato is there, is playing at the number 10, and for the first time we can say this season that it's a player that is starting to make sense in that number 10. Why is that? Because you are freeing up someone in the midfield. I will tell you, look at the images of Renato Vega against PSV. I could have taken so many of them because 17 times he was able to give a pass into the final third. More than any other defender of Juve. 17 times is a lot, guys. Me, that I'm always watching at these stats, is a lot. I took a few frames. Look at that. First half is there. Up in the opposition half. Centrally. How many times did we ask to play central? Well, he's there, carrying that ball. Another time, a few minutes later, again there, looking for some options. This time it was not central, but it was on the left part of the field, looking at two different options. We see Renato Vega in the second half, able to go with these long balls, looking for Colomani or another player, always with these long balls, able to have the vision but also the accuracy into his foot. Then another slide, the fourth slide, where you see him there in the middle, where he says, I'm building the game, I have the ideas of football. Go guys, come here, come closer. He's already directing, he's telling what players need to do there as a real regista. We are speaking here not about a center defender, about a regista. And then you see also defensively, thanks to him, you see that we are building or defending sometimes with three. Kelly on the left, he's really there at the center, with Gatti on the right side, making sure that Wea is going higher, playing in a kind of tree, and then Wea also there. What did we see also in these images? A Locatelli that is not obliged anymore to do the dirty work. Also having different options, not always ball to Locatelli and Locatelli will go and be that regista. Not always balls to Douglas Luiz and he will do the regista. We have a player that is able to take that ball, to go up, free up some men, and we are creating the plusvalenza on the field. We are with one more man on the field, thanks to the tactical idea of football. Thanks to Renato Vega, that is always going on man, we are able to play extremely higher. It's extremely early now to tell you that everything is fine, that everything is working, that tactically, everything is perfect, and now that we will win 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row, that everything is perfect, that we will not concede anymore. No, it's not true, because we saw that in all the games that we played so far, in the 3 wins, we are conceding goals. So it needs to be better, oiled better. But we start seeing again a Thiago Motta that goes towards his idea of football. We see some players that have more potential to do only their game and not only sacrificing themselves. Ragazzi, these are, according to me, the 5 reasons why Juventus was able to go with 3 in a row, and we hope to go with a 4, with a 5, and that we don't stop. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you appreciate it, put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.